ONYXCON fam, what's happening? How y'all doing worldwide? All my real ones, my subscribers. You know what I'm saying? That's my monetization nation. That's what I call my subscribers. How y'all doing? Everywhere y'all be, everywhere you at. Welcome back to ONYXCON. We out here again, y'all. Another evening. You can say like after 5 is evening, so we right in the evening. We're gonna be working till sundown, getting these orders out. Trying to stack enough for the quota, the daily quota, to make it all make sense, because it still don't make sense. It don't matter how much you do. Oh, but we're gonna change that. Oh yeah, y'all gonna help me change that. Yeah, we're gonna get that right for ONYXCON, right? We're gonna keep subscribing. We're gonna keep telling our friends and family, you need to check this dude out. He got that energy you're looking for, you know. And it's only those people I'm talking to. You know how it go. Yeah, ain't nobody else worth even mentioning. It's always those people who understand. Okay, that's what I do it for, y'all. That's what I do it for. That's what I do it for. That's who I do it for. That's what we do it for. And I've been changing the way I do some of my lives. So I still do what I'm doing right now, if this is the type of live it is. But for the most part, any of the previous lives that didn't have like hundreds, or over 100 views, I just changed them to being unlisted. So they're still in the catalog, but they don't get no views after that. People just, if they're not in here while I'm talking, I've learned it's wasted hours. Like right now, honestly, I'm kind of wasting minutes by talking and ain't nobody looking. You gotta wait till there it is. See, when somebody shows up, that's when it makes sense. How you doing? That's when it makes sense. Because you gotta get some numbers out of this thing. You gotta get watch time hours. That's what makes YouTube worth its effort of stress and everything you gotta go through to make these videos. They coming in now. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. How y'all doing? So basically, we get to that point where every time I go live, people jump in and it's like 10s, 20s, 30s, 50s, hundreds of people. I want to get to the point where it's like hundreds, especially because we're so close to at least getting the 3,000 watch hours required so that you can get what they call super chats and stuff like that. So any of y'all ever want to give something while I'm live and you already got your debit or credit card stuff set up and everything, you just push a button and it's simple as that. You just pick how many, you send them $5, send 10, send 20, you know what I mean? And we can do something with that. We can really do something with that versus, you're just on here and you don't know who's watching, you don't know who's got some pockets to help. 22 in the building. Let's get some thumbs up in here, all right? Let's get some love up in here. Come on, push that button. Especially if you've been here already looking all this time. Come on, y'all. 22 of y'all, somebody up in here showing some love. 10 people, come on, y'all. So that's what we're doing with that. And when we get to that point where we get that 3,000 and can get those watch time hours, it's going to make a big difference. You're going to see it in the content. Like right now, I always, every month to month, I kind of come up with a new list of what I know I need to get to make it all make sense as far as equipment and things of that nature. And after my last adventure down home, deep south, I realized, I said, yeah, but I have to get it. I gotta get me another camera. I need a real camera, one of these newer cameras now that can do film and stills. I need one because using your phone is great. And I've never put down the process of using your phone. I think it's still the most effective, easiest way any YouTuber can get started or anybody doing anything social media. It's just the easiest way to do it. You know what I mean? But you don't necessarily have the best situation for every situation. You know, I saw so much wildlife that I wanted to get close-ups, and I mean real close. I'm talking about I'm counting fur, I'm counting hairs, I'm counting scales, whatever it is. Alligator we saw across the street. I was thinking, man, if I had a telephoto lens, I could have got shots of that alligator that would be National Geographic level. Because I'm a photographer, so I have that skill base. That was part of my point of college. I do that. All gets translated even into my movies because all it is moving pictures. So that's something we got to invest in. And I've been looking up what it's going to cost on average to get what I know I need. You know, you're talking about anywhere from 500 to 1,000 plus. You know, maybe 5 is more like something is used for the quality of one that I need. All righty. As I was saying, so yeah, I need to get a new camera situation so I can improve the still quality. Just get back into photography on that level. I mean, I ain't never stopped. I've been doing photography, man, most of my life. I mean, since I was a kid is when I really got into it. But like from college forward, you know, it changed in the way I do it because, like I said, I shoot most of everything I photograph now with my phone. But like I said, I've realized the limitations of a phone, and I've always known it. But now I'm just at a point where it's a breaking point where I'm just like, okay, enough is enough. I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to see one of the most beautiful fox squirrels I've ever seen in my life down home on a pecan tree, just staring at me for literally roughly 2 minutes, way enough time to do a full photo shoot. I could have had so many amazing shots of that moment, uh, and be able to share it for eternity. Versus, it's just, I mean, it's forever fixed in my mind. As long as I'm cognizant, I can still see it, and it's forever meaning. But even that, it's that faded memory versus that. Yo, you looking at that photo like, yo, look at this creature, look at this beautiful animal, you know. And I want to be able to share that for myself, for my fans of my art, because that is an art, and you know how I feel about the arts, plural. Okay, so we just trying to upgrade, y'all. That's all. We ain't trying. We gonna do it. I'm just, when I tell y'all, I am my true nature is such a giver, but I have to be careful with that. You know, I don't stretch myself thin anymore. I've learned be careful who you know. No pearls before swine, as they say. You know, is the phrase. You know, no pearls before swine, man. They don't know they don't know how to appreciate it. You know, so you know everything's got its nature. Pig only wants to deal with the mud. Let him deal with the mud. I'm gonna deal with something else. I'm gonna show you a whole nother level. You know, I know how to walk through the mud and still get to the pearls. You feel what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm gonna show y'all some other levels, but you gotta want that and understand even what I'm saying as I say that. Just so people, just to hear that kind of conversation, it bothers them. It literally, they're like, you mean it ain't dirty? It ain't low frequency? And then get off this channel because that ain't what we do. That ain't what we do. Everything we do gonna be on another level. And I know it's confusing for some folks because they see you doing things that they do, but they don't do it the way you do it. And they're frustrated about that. Well, guess what? Again, everything ain't for everybody. And I know that from the fact that I've been on here, it's been some 30 something people in here. You ain't had one person put a thumbs up. That tell you right there. Pearl before swine, man. You giving them good energy, you telling them things that would only appeal to the right people. The right people